The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Rajiv from Quickheal Technologies, and thank you for joining us at this webinar on Top 10 Web Hacking Techniques of 2014. The webinar will be presented by Mr. Nikhil More. Nikhil is an online marketing manager at Quickheal. He has 8 years of experience in digital marketing and a passion for technology and photography. Nikhil is a recognized expert in internet and marketing strategies for the antivirus industry. He offers his vast experience in implementing comprehensive online marketing programs for the antivirus e-commerce industry. At Quickheal, Nikhil is associated with the cybersecurity program, which is the company's corporate social responsibility initiative. Handing over the mic to Nikhil. Have a good webinar.
Very much for this warm welcome, Rajiv, and welcome to everyone for today's webinar. The topic for today's webinar is Top 10 Web Hacking Techniques of 2014. I would just like to make a short announcement. This topic is a little technical in nature, so I may be using some industry jargons or some technology words which you may not understand. Now, we just need to make sure that you keep a note of the words that you don't understand, probably the slide number, and just write back to us with the slide number and your question on the email address corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in, and we will be more than happy to help you answer your questions. All right, so let's begin with today's webinar. What are the topics that we would be discussing today? Major computer hacks in the year 2014. How are hacking attacks carried out? How are Facebook accounts hacked? Now, this is an interesting topic that we've been asked questions. We've been asked a lot of questions over the complete year as to how do you protect your Facebook account from being hacked, or what are the techniques via which people hack Facebook accounts. The do's and the don'ts of internet security, very important topic that we would like to again reiterate a bit, because this, as we all know, there's a saying, precaution is better than cure. So it's always better to be cautious about being on the internet than repent for the damages. And lastly, but most important thing, how can Quickheal help you in this journey to stop web attacks, or to protect you in the event of web attack. Now, I would like to begin today's webinar with an interesting question that I would like to ask you, ask today's attendees. The question that I would like to ask you is about shopping online. So, whenever you're shopping online, should you or should you not make financial transactions or log into your banking accounts over free unsecured Wi-Fi networks? You have about 1 minute to cast your votes. Now, let me quickly explain you what do I mean by free unsecured Wi-Fi networks. So Wi-Fi networks which basically do not have any authentication or credentials to log in, Wi-Fi networks which are not secured by or do not follow security protocols, are basically unsecured Wi-Fi networks. So Wi-Fi networks which you probably do not know anything about, or Wi-Fi networks which you are not sure if it is safe or not, should you or should you not make financial transactions on these networks? I think about 65% of today's audience has casted their votes. So I would like to close today's first poll, and declare what the results are. So, pat your backs, audience. You're very accurate. You should never make a financial transaction, or you should never log into your financial accounts like your bank accounts over free or unsecured Wi-Fi networks. As I said earlier, these networks are not safe, as you're not sure the network is not safe, you should never attempt to do this. Moving forward, let me take you to the interesting part of today's webinar. Which were the major hacking attacks in the year 2014? Starting from the most prominent web attack which happened on iCloud leaks. Now, you all know Apple is renowned for its security and encryption. It failed to protect the user's private pictures and data as the hackers breached into the iCloud servers. The hackers gained access to sensitive photos of celebrities and posted them online for others to see. Apple was quick to react and give explanation that the attack was a result of master planning. eBay. You all know eBay is one of the largest online stores where you can buy virtually anything you think of. It disclosed interesting news in the year 2014, the month of May, that its servers were breached in one of the top hacking attempts of 2014. It claimed that the hackers had managed to sneak into its servers and they stole personal records of over 233 million users. Snapchat photo leaks. By default, Snapchat deletes your photos and videos once you log out the session. However, most of the users of Snapchat employed an Android and iPhone app called as Snap Save to save their photos and videos. The app uploaded all the content on its central server that was controlled by the hackers. 13 GB of data was compromised as a result. In this event, termed snapping, that leaked 90,000 private photos of people on third-party websites. Moving forward, Dropbox. Now, Dropbox is a service that's widely used for sharing large file size, which is in MBs. So the account details of nearly 7 million Dropbox users were hacked by an unknown group in the month of October 2014. The hackers threatened to publish the photos and videos of users. A series of posts with plenty of username and passwords for Dropbox have been made to anonymous information sharing website Spacepin. A group of Russian hackers managed to get access to 1.2 billion accounts, which basically were login credentials for famous servers like Gmail, Yandex, and Mail.ru. According to a rough estimate, there are around 2.9 billion internet users on the planet, which make this hacking attempt one of the biggest of its kind. This hacking attempt led to worldwide Change Your Password campaign. The investigation revealed that the Russian group of hackers contained only a dozen of young boys in their 20s who managed to hack multiple websites in the massive web attack. P.F. Chang's restaurant hack incidents. This is a popular chain restaurant that was targeted by hackers last year, resulting in compromise of customers' payment notification. Chang's didn't mention specifically how many people were affected by the security breach. However, thousands of new stolen credit card and debit card information went up for sale online. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management. Chinese hackers breached into the servers of United States Office of Personnel Management. The hacking attempt was extremely sophisticated and planned. The awareness about the successful server penetration leaked some months later. The US government denied that the hacking attempt was successful. It assured the public that personal data hasn't been compromised. After reading the hacking stories of top security breaches, the hacking attacks of 2014, you might feel a little insecure. But let's continue. Let's see another attack, which was, I'm sure you must have heard about this service called as Evernote and Feedly. Now, it's not clear if the attacks of both Feedly and Evernote were conducted at the same time, but they happened with a difference of a day. The two companies largely work in tandem with each other. Whilst Evernote was taken down with a distributed denial of service, or more popularly known as DDoS, on June 10th, 2014, and was quickly restored within a few hours. Feedly, which went down the next day, suffered a bigger loss. You all know Domino's Pizzas. It was over the news also. Hacking group Rex Mundi held Domino's Pizzas for a ransom of over 600,000 Belgian and French customer records in exchange for personal data which included names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, and even their favorite pizza toppings. Mundi demanded 40,000 US dollars from the fast food chain. If the ransom wasn't met, the hackers threatened to publish the information online. The group then taunted Domino's by saying, "Earlier this week, we hacked our way into servers of Domino's Pizza France and Belgium, who happen to share same vulnerable database." Domino's refused to comply with the ransom and reassured customers that the financial and banking information was safe. The hacking group had its Twitter account suspended and the data was never released, although it was not clear if Domino's ever complied with the ransom demands. So these were the major hacking attacks in 2014. Let me take you through another poll, in which I would like to know. A lot of professionals do ask, these questions. If it's recommended to use your official email address for creating social media sites accounts. Now, when I say personal email address would be, when I say official email address, I mean the email address provided by your organization, which could be a company, which could be your office. This email address is used for official communication. So should you or should you not use this email address to create social media accounts such as Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, or any other social media accounts? We'll wait for another 30 seconds while the audience casts their vote. We have about 90% of today's audience cast their vote, so I'm going to close today's poll and share with you what the results are. But pat your backs again, audience. 76% of today's audience feels that they should not use official email addresses to create social media sites. Moving forward, very interestingly, let's see how these cyber attacks were made possible. Cybercriminals pose tremendous threat to internet users worldwide. The battle among security agencies to provide high... Do we have a problem? I think there's some problem with the screen. No, I think it's fine. We can continue. Well, yeah, now we are on the correct page. So I was saying the cyber criminals pose tremendous threat to internet users worldwide. The battle among security agencies to provide high internet privacy to users and cyber criminals to breach the security measures is everlasting. The battle will go on. Now, every now and then you hear news about hacking of some social media forum or a popular website. The security community produces a stunning number of web hacking techniques that are published in various white papers, blog posts, magazine articles, etc. Now let's see which were the top security breaches or hacking attacks in the year 2014, and let's try and understand it in a non-technical way how these attacks were done. Now, as I told you audience earlier, if this could be a little technical conversation, so in case you have any questions, please keep them handy and send it across to us on our email address. Beginning with the Heartbleed bug. The Heartbleed bug is a serious vulnerability in the popular Open SSL cryptographic software library. Now, you all know what's an Open SSL cryptographic software library. It's basically a software which protects you when you are online. It protects your data to be encrypted. Now, this weakness allows stealing information protected under the normal SSL or TLS encryption used to secure the internet. The SSL or TLS provided communication security and privacy over internet for applications such as web, email, instant messaging, and for some VPN, which is virtual private networks. The Heartbleed bug allows anyone on the internet to read the memory of the system protected by vulnerable versions of Open SSL software. This comprises the secret key used to identify the service providers and to encrypt the traffic, names, and passwords of users and the actual content. This allows attackers to eavesdrop on communication, steal the data directly from the services and users, and to impersonate as service providers or users themselves. TweetDeck. Now, TweetDeck was taken down. TweetDeck, as you all know, is a service by Twitter. Now, TweetDeck services has been disabled for the time being, as Twitter tries to get handle on a cross-site scripting vulnerability that causes mountains of concentration on social networking platforms. Initially, users of TweetDeck were asked to log out on the real-time Twitter monitoring tool in order for a fix or for an update. But the repairs, however, didn't take for some, who reported seeing a pop-up dialog box indicating it's a beginning of an XSS exploit. Users could be at risk for more serious attacks. Cross-site scripting occurs when attackers are able to inject a code into web pages and web-based services. The Twitter had acquired TweetDeck in 2011 for an upwards of $50 million. TweetDeck provides the users with a dashboard view of multiple accounts. Tweet timelines, notifications, and direct message appears in customizable streaming columns. The next one that we are going to see is using Facebook Notes for a DDoS of any website. Facebook Notes allow users to include image tags. Whenever an image is used, Facebook crawls the image for external server and caches it. Facebook will only cache the image once. However, using random get parameters, the cache can be only bypassed, and the feature can be abused to get a huge HTTP get flood. This way, creating a virtual DDoS on Facebook for it to begin a hacking attack on it. Moving forward, researchers uncover interesting browser-based botnets on several recent sites that relied on persistent cross-site scripting vulnerability. In a major video website, the hijacks use the user's browser's data in order to flood the site with traffic. The attack on an unnamed site involved the use of injected JavaScript on the site, which could execute in the user's browser. Whenever he views a profile image that contains that JavaScript, once the code runs, it then fires off an embedded iframe with a DDoS tool that sends the GET request to targeted site. The attacker embedded the malicious code in his own profile on the video site and then posted a comment on hundreds of videos so that his profile image appears next to the comment. As more and more visitors watch the video, therefore, viewed malicious images and GET requests continues to mount on the targeted website. As a result, each time a legitimate visitor landed on the page, his browser automatically executed the injected JavaScript, which in turn injected a hidden iframe with the address of DDoSer and the CC domain. Now, you'd say a couple of seconds, request is going on, say for example 1 per second is not too much, but please remember When we're talking about a video which is 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes in length with thousands of views every minute, the attack can quickly become very large, and a large number of systems can be influenced, and the attack can be successful on all these systems at the same time. The next one is the Instagram hacked to see your private photos. Now, Instagram, as you know, is a very popular tool available on the Android platform as well as the iOS platform, where people share photos. Now, certain actions on Instagram's API were vulnerable to cross-site request forgery, or more popularly known as the CSRF attack. The attack would execute unwanted actions on web application in where the user, or who's actually the victim, is currently authenticated. A successful CSRF exploitation could compromise the user's data, photos, and personal information by making public his Instagram profile. 12 million of home routers were vulnerable for a takeover. So there was an embedded web server called as ROM pager, where the vulnerable to a simple attack could give the hacker man in middle position on the traffic going to and from the home routers. And this was done on mostly the ISP owned residential gateways, which were manufactured by D-Link, Huawei, TP-Link, ZTE, and several others which were currently exposed. Later, they once this was reported, they made sure that they responded with a new firmware and patches to their products so that the security was taken care of. But yes, before they were informed, more than 12 million home routers were taken over, controlled by the hackers. In a very interesting research, we found out that one Mr. Andrew Cantino, who is the Vice President of Engineering at Mavenlink, has responded to Google for one of their vulnerabilities in Google Docs. Now, Cantino describes his attack in a blog post of his mentioned last year. He said an attacker targeting a particular victim or organization could share a Google document with an address, unchecking the option whereby Google sends the recipient a notification. Using Cantino's exploit technique, and attackers could learn when someone logged into a shared address, visit the attacker's site. Cantino said an attacker could turn around a spear phishing campaign, or even uncover for users if they are logged into a Google using a TOR browser. This concludes the major hacking attacks that they were made possible. Let's move ahead with another poll that I would like to know from you, which is, or what is the safest method to access your bank's website? Very interesting question, people. Please read your options very carefully before you answer this question. Especially when we pose tricky questions, we want our audience to think about which is the safest option. Now, you might get links in your email where people, the email sender would ask you to click on a link to log into your bank details. You can do that, or you can manually type the bank's URL in the address bar, or you can click on links provided by search engines. Which do you think is the safest of all option when it comes to logging or choosing a method to log in to your bank's website? I will give you another 15 seconds to cast your votes. I think majority of the audience has already casted their vote, so I'm going to close the opinion poll and share with you what the results were. Again, I'm very happy to see today's audience being so informed about security measures to be taken. you are very correct in choosing the option of manually typing the bank's URL in the address bar. So as we have said, you are the one who can protect yourself the most. Relying on technology for giving you the options is a good thing, but you still need to verify a few things manually, as in the cyber world everything is not as it seems. So pat your backs again and let's continue with today's webinar. We've been asked so many times in the last year, in 2014, about how is Facebook hacked? What are the major techniques which are used in attacking Facebook and hacking into somebody's Facebook account? So starting with the most obvious, which is phishing. Phishing is still the most popular attack which is used in for attacking Facebook accounts. There are variety methods to carry out the phishing attack. In a simple phishing attack, a hacker creates a fake login page which looks exactly like a Facebook page and then asks the victims to log in. Once the victim logs into this fake Facebook page, the victim's email address and password is stored in a text file. The hacker then downloads the text file and gets the hands onto victim's login credentials. Second is keylogging. Now, keylogging is the easiest way to hack a Facebook password. Keylogging sometimes can be so dangerous that even a person with good knowledge of computers can fall for it. A keylogger basically is a small program which once installed on a victim's computer, it will record everything that the victim types on his or her personal computer. The logs are then sent to the user either by an FTP server or directly to the hacker's email address. Stealers. This is a very common term that is used. It's been reported that almost 80% people they store their usernames and their passwords in the browser when they access Facebook. Now, I know it is quite convenient, but sometimes it can be extremely dangerous. Stealers are software specially designed to capture saved passwords stored in the victim's internet browser. Session hijacking. Session hijacking can often be very dangerous if you're accessing Facebook on a non-secure connection. In session hijacking attack, the hacker steals the victim's browser cookie, which is used to authenticate the user on a website like Facebook, and use it to gain access to the victim's account. Session hijacking is widely used on LAN and Wi-Fi connections. Sitejacking with Firesheep. Now, sitejacking attack went common in the late 2010. However, it's still very popular nowadays. Firesheep is widely used to carry out sitejacking attacks. Firesheep only works when an attacker and victim is on the same Wi-Fi network. The sitejacking attack is basically another name for HTTP session hijacking, but it's more targeted towards Wi-Fi users. Mobile phone hacking. Millions of Facebook users access Facebook through mobile phones. In case the hacker gains access to victim's mobile phone, he can probably gain access to his or her Facebook account. There are a lot of mobile spying softwares used to monitor a cell phone or a mobile phone. The most popular mobile phone softwares are Mobile Spy and Spy Gold Phone. DNS spoofing. If a victim and an attacker are on the same network, an attacker can use a DNS spoofing attack and change the original Facebook page to his own fake page, hence can get access to victim's Facebook account. USB hacking or universal serial hacking. If an attacker has a physical access to your computer, he could just insert a USB program with the function to automatically extract safe passwords in your internet browser. Man in the middle attacks. If a victim and an attacker are on the same LAN and on a switch-based network, a hacker can place himself between the client and the server, or he could act as a default gateway, hence he captures all the data all in the traffic. Botnets, botnets are not commonly used for hacking Facebook accounts, but because it's highly expensive to set up a botnet attack. They usually carried out for more advanced attacks. A botnet is basically a collection of compromised computers which somebody controls from a remote location. The infection process is the same as a key logging. However, a botnet gives you additional options for carrying out attacks with the compromised computer. Some of the most popular botnets include SpyEye and Zeus. Moving to the next interesting topic, the do's and the don'ts of internet security. Very quickly, I'll tell you, this is a very one of the most asked questions in the year 2014, and that's the reason we have included in today's webinar. While giving away personal information or financial information to any website, check if the URL begins with HTTPS. Look for the padlock icon because that indicates that the connection is secure. Avoid making your personal information public on social media sites and internet in general. Keep checking keep me logged in or save my password, remember my username options. Do not do it on saving it on your browsers, especially on public computers or cyber cafe computers. Tighten your privacy settings on Facebook so that only your friends are notified about your activity. Never trust emails asking for your personal or banking information. Be extra cautious when links or attachments in unknown or unwanted emails come into. So verify a communication from the sender first. The sender could be a bank, could be a financial institution, or could be a friend. Verify with them before acting upon that email. Access your bank's website by manually typing URL. You've proved that you know this as per our last opinion poll, where you have said that you will be typing manually for URL addresses in the bar, especially for your bank websites. Keep your software and operating system up to date. It's very important because that's where the software patches come into use and they protect you against vulnerabilities. Most important, use an up-to-date security software that offers multi-layered protection. Change your internet banking passwords at a periodic intervals and never share them with anyone. Avoid saving your credit or debit card information on websites and web browsers. Never share your financial details on phone or email, even if the caller or sender seems genuine. Remember, people in cyberspace are not always at the scene. Now, talking about your mobile phones or your mobile handsets, do not root or jailbreak your device. It will make your device vulnerable to attackers. Turn off Wi-Fi, location services, which is your GPS, Bluetooth when it's not in use. Avoid sending us or saving personal or overly sensitive information on your mobile device. This could include your bank ATMs or your credit card passwords. Install a mobile security app with features such as anti-malware, anti-theft, SMS and call filter, privacy protection, and remote device management. Now this brings to one more opinion poll from you. Say for example you are buying from an unfamiliar website. Unfamiliar website is a website you probably haven't used or haven't even heard from your friends or your family. If you are buying from such an unfamiliar website, what is the best approach to take? One, should you go for a cash on delivery option? Two, should you give away your debit card or credit card details on the site? Or should you buy the product by giving away your credit or debit card details over a phone call? Which of them do you think is the option that you should choose? We would conclude the poll in the next 15 seconds. We have about 90% of today's audience cast their votes, so I'll now close the poll and share the results with you. Well, audience, you are right on the target again. It is very important to note that although there are 3% people who have said that they can give away credit card details, or they can even give debit card details over the phone, we would not recommend you do that for a very important reason, that if a website is not known, it's not familiar, it cannot be trusted. You use your regular teachings that your parents or our parents have taught us. You should never trust strangers. If you don't trust strangers in real life, you should not trust strangers or stranger websites over the internet. Continuing, now how can Quick Heal help you in situations where you are in the cyber world and you need security? Now let me explain you how few basic features of the Quick Heal software. Starting with advanced DNA scan. Now the Quick Heal DNA scan technology is now enhanced to combine behavioral and characteristic inspection and monitoring of malicious programs. What do we mean by behavioral or characteristic inspection? A certain malware would have a certain behavioral aspect in which the way the malware is executed, the way the malware does its bad things by attacking your computer, and some of them have a peculiar characteristic in themselves, which is possibly the way the file runs. Now the Quick Heal Advanced DNA Scan identifies these unusual patterns, and it does when it monitors these programs. So all these malicious programs have been scanned that way for 3 levels of detection, which is high level of behavior detection, moderate level of behavior detection, and low level of behavior detection. The second is safe banking. This feature is designed to protect your online banking activities from fraudulent websites and malicious programs that steal financial information. This antivirus feature provides you with safe desktop session where your financial transaction on banking portals, shopping sites, and e-commerce portals stays private and hidden from attackers. Core protection is nothing but it's a complete 360 degrees protection for your PC with deep system scans through antivirus, anti-spyware, which is a spying software, anti-malware, which is a malware attacks, anti-rootkit, which again is a category of malwares, silent firewalls, and IDS and IPS. IDS stands for intrusion detection system, where it detects intrusions in your systems, unauthorized access to your systems, and IPS stands for intrusion prevention system, which prevents intrusions to your computer. Firewall. This comprises of a stealth mode. When it's on, your PC becomes invisible in the network. This prevents hackers from tracing your system and attacking it. Firewall offers multiple settings that you can configure depending on level of protection you desire for your computer. Vulnerability scanner. This is a proactive antivirus feature that notifies you of critical security vulnerabilities that can be used by hackers to compromise your PC and data stored in it. This feature also helps you to fix their vulnerabilities. This feature runs in the background as soon as you initiate a full system scan on your PC. Moving on. Browser Sandbox. Browser Sandbox is browsing in secure interface. Running your web browser in Sandbox gives you uninterrupted and secure browsing experience. It provides internet security by acting like a protective screen between your PC's operating system and the malicious threats on the internet. So malicious threats do not enter your system directly without bypassing the screen. So this screen will filter out if it gives you a window of opportunity to filter out this malicious content from entering your system. Web security, it's a real time cloud-based security which restricts access to malware-infected or fraudulent or phishing websites. It prevents threats transferred through website hosting malicious codes to serve the internet. Web security is basically further described into three options. First is browsing protection. It protects your desktops from malicious online threats. Second is anti-phishing, where it automatically scans web pages as you surf the internet for fraudulent activity and protects you against any phishing attack. And the third is zero-day protection, which means it protects your system from zero-day threats which presently do not have any solution. Parental control. It helps you manage, control, and monitor the activities of your children when they are on the internet. Parents can restrict the children or other users from accessing unwanted websites based on categories such as pornography, crime, violence, drugs. You can allow access to certain sites from blocked website category by adding them to an exclusion list. Like, say, for example, when you are blocking the category of news, but you want to include news about science and technology, you can unblock or you can add an exception to this category further. You can also control the internet activity and usage by scheduling internet timings. It helps you to control internet usage and activity for your children and also others. Say, for example, if you want your child to access internet on weekdays only from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., you can do that. That's possible via parental control. Flash drive protection. It automatically scans the external devices when at the moment they are connected to the system. Email security. The QuickHeal cloud-based email security prevents spam, phishing, and infected emails from reaching your inbox. Data theft protection prevents unauthorized copying of data using flash drives like a memory card or a pen drive, and prevents unauthorized copying of confidential or sensitive data from PC. Privacy protection. Very importantly, if you do not want any data to be stored on your computer and want it to be removed completely without being recovered by any of the recovery softwares, we can help you do that. Lastly, but most important, safe mode protection. This facility stops unauthorized users from changing QuickHeal security settings when the system is running on safe mode. Password protection must be turned on to use this feature. This brings to the end of this webinar. As I said earlier, if you have any questions, please write back to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in with the slide number and the question you have. You can also follow us on Facebook. The Facebook email address is facebook.com/quickhealav. You can also follow our Twitter handle, which is twitter.com/quickheal. The website for QuickHeal, more about QuickHeal products, is www.quickheal.com. The official blog for QuickHeal is blogs.quickheal.com. If you'd like to know, we have the video recordings of all these webinars on YouTube channel. You can visit us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/quickheal. That's all from me. Now I will share the mic with Rajiv to conclude this session.
Thank you all for being with us today. I hope you had a nice webinar with Nikhil. I will see you soon in the next webinar. Have a good day.